Hello there, and welcome back to another video of my first ever playthrough of Honkai Star Rail. Sorry, I don't know why I started breaking down halfway through that. But hello, welcome. This is gonna be a kind of different video for our series. So in today's video, we are going to be doing Clara's companion mission. But as you might have noticed, the length of this video is surely considerably shorter than my usual ones. And well, that's because some of you might already know that I recorded the episode. I recorded the whole video. This is me from the future, actually. I recorded the whole episode of me doing Clara's companion mission, and it was not until after it was all over that I came to realize that my mic audio was not recording at all. Like, not even a little bit. It was pretty disappointing, to say the least. Thankfully I was able to figure out what the problem was with my mic issues. And so what I'm doing instead is I'm gonna just kind of do a little recap of what we did in that recording, like us going through that Clara mission. And we also even played with the home decor event a little bit, so I'm just kind of gonna go over some of that. I'll probably show some clips from the my recording of it, because I do have the video, I just don't have audio. So I'm probably gonna put in some clips while I talk about my experience doing that mission. But we will get to do a little bit of live action gameplay, because I do have this message from Clara, which I think this is the follow-up adventure mission to the to Clara's companion mission. So after we go over what the companion mission was like, we'll go and do that live. But beforehand, I just wanted to talk about what happened when I played with the home decor event, because it was very fun. Basically, I finished the living room, which was fun. And then, oh, look at this, guys. I even got this rose bath soak. Isn't that lovely? It looked like it was meant for Argenti. And then I started working on this room. I might have even finished it. I think I might have finished it. But it was crazy, because also we met this like computer virus that was in here. It was really silly. And yeah, I don't really remember what happened, but he's still in there somewhere. We don't really know what happened to him. But yeah, that was kind of what we missed here. So with that, now we're gonna switch into, I'm just gonna put over some clips of the recording, and I'll talk about what it was like doing Clara's companion mission. So, you know, Clara's companion mission started with us getting a message from her saying that there's some problems at the robot settlement and she wants us to like come by. So we come on over, and that's where we meet her at Svarog's base. And then she tells us about that there's been some like theft problems happening in the settlement. And yeah, right away I started suspecting if possibly the thief might be a robot or a TomTom, because she did mention that the thief was not stealing anything valuable, it was just stealing like parts and stuff. So I was like, that kind of seems like something, you know, a machine would do, you know, someone who who wouldn't really necessarily see the same like human value as like everyone else would in items. So I was kind of already like catching on to maybe what this mission would be about straight away. But yeah, basically we talked to some people, end up finding that robot, and we fight it. But then it made me really sad, because this whole time you're fighting this robot, he's like trying to talk to you, but he seems like in pain and like very sad and like unhappy, and like it feels very emotional. I honestly I remember just like saying out loud, I was like, I don't know if I want to fight robots anymore. I don't think I can fight robots anymore. This is so sad. So that kind of is what happened there. But, you know, we subdue him and we go back to Svarog to try to figure out what's wrong with him. And basically we find out that, like, his, like, the robot's, like, core and, like, internal parts are fine, but, like, the shell is what's the matter. So we go to the robot graveyard, which is just, like, you know, that underneath part of the robot settlement area. And that was lots of fun because we we got to meet the tour guide, Toby, who was another automaton, and I was a big fan of Toby. I thought he was so great. I'd give him 10 stars if I could. I think he needs to do tour guiding professionally. I even think, like, he should, like, give tours to, like, Bellabog people who come down to the underworld. Like, he should give tours of the underworld. I think he'd be amazing. I think he should get tips. Anyway. We find a shell. It's, like, a slightly bigger shell, though. And, like, also, throughout this time, we realized, like, that things aren't exactly normal about the robot we found, because he's, like, some of his parts on his shell were, like, a little weird anyway, and, you know, he was trying to talk to us, but he wasn't saying, like, complete legible, or whatever the audio version is of legible. My brain's not on all the way, sorry. But, you know, we couldn't fully understand what he was talking about. But he did say the word Rivet Town.
Nice.
Not together, but he did say Rivet and then Town at some point, and, like, he was saying, like, he must, like, go back and, like, get things. So I was like, he's obviously, like, trying to complete some sort of task, but, like, he's not fully able to communicate what it is, and, like, he might not be fully capable in his current state of actually doing it. So, yeah, we bring back the shell of the slightly bigger robot. He starts out as, like, one of those small robots, but he gets a slightly bigger shell. And it turns out, though, that the shell is incompatible, and then we have to fight him again, so that sucked. I was like, I don't want to fight this poor little guy anymore. But, so, you know, we finished the fight, and he's, like, shut down, so Clara's like, okay, I'm gonna try to figure this out, talk to me later. So that was kind of how the first like part 1 of the what was it called, Rarely Affectionate, that was the first part. So at, like, this point in the mission, I wasn't fully sure what, like, the I don't know, like, I wasn't fully sure what the whole story would be, but I did have the idea that, you know, obviously, like, he's a robot who, like, he can speak, but he's just not speaking well, and I was like, all I know is he needs to get back to Rivet Town, something back in Rivet Town. But anyway, starting the part 2, when we get a message from Clara saying to come back, we come back, and she tells us that his name is Pascal, so we start calling him Pascal. And so she wants us to look again for a more compatible shell for him, because she thinks he probably needs something bigger. Like, something in his wiring is like, he needs a bigger one. So we're like, okay. Then we get one of the, like, direwolf models, like the ones with, like, the saw-looking heads. I always think they look like saws, but I don't think they are. But I always think they look like saws. So, you know, we fight something, and then we get it, I don't know, and then we return it, and we put the shell onto Pascal, but it is still incompatible, and, like, everyone's kind of worried, like, uh-oh, and then Pascal runs away, heading towards Rivet Town, and I'm like, of course, we had to head there at some point, because obviously this whole thing is kind of leading to something there. And also, I want to note that, like, this whole time throughout the mission, like, you can genuinely see, like, Clara's, like, deep care for Pascal, and obviously for, like, all the robots. It was really nice to see about that, because obviously Clara is, I don't know, she's just, I think of her as like, she calls us big sister, you know, but like I really do think of her as like a little sister type of character for us. So I do kind of dote on her a little bit. But yeah, like we know that Clara is like basically kind of like a robot genius. And also she's, you know, she's spent her whole life being raised by, you know, the people, I guess people, but you know, the robots in the robot settlement. So it's she does have a genuine care, and you can tell that she is really concerned about Pascal, especially because, you know, she can tell that there's something a bit different about him to other robots, you know, like similarly to Sparog, he has some sort of sentience to him, and like is obviously like, you know, he shows pain when we fight him and things like that. So the whole time we are keeping that in mind, that that's how Clara's feeling. So yeah, basically we chase Pascal into Rivet Town, and we end up seeing him faced with one of those really big automatons, the bear ones, like the grizzly. I don't know what they're called, but we hear that automaton like call Pascal like a creature, like a fragmentum creature. So that's kind of the first thing. It's like, like what could this possibly be about? I was sort of thinking like, well, maybe some of my theories were like, maybe since Pascal, you know, maybe he's from Rivet Town, and we obviously know Rivet Town has been sort of taken over by Fragmentum, so perhaps, you know, he's just been corrupted by it. Or I thought maybe, like, I started to have some crazy theories, like maybe he, maybe like a human soul that has been corrupted was like put into his data. Like those were like the type of things I was going through, like a human soul that had been corrupted by Fragmentum was like inside of like his system. And then like, I don't know, I had lots of other theories. None of them ended up being correct. But yeah, anyway, we fight that big robot that tries to attack Pascal, and then Pascal then takes on the core of that one. And it's finally after Pascal gets this shell that he can talk a bit more clearly, and also it's like Pascal just talks like a little cutie baby. I mean, I know he's a robot, but like he just talks like he's like I love Pascal. He's a very precious little robot to me. But anyway, we follow Pascal to like his workshop or whatever, and we find out that like, I don't know, stuff is wrong. So we look for clues around the workshop and eventually land on this like what looks like a diary, but it kind of definitely seems more like a log sort of thing. And it sort of teaches us about what really happened with him. So it starts out, like it looks like it's like a log or diary that spans over maybe 3 years or so. And what I thought was interesting is like at the beginning, it's very like robotic task managey. Like it starts out like damage log backup, blah blah blah, record, daily rescue progress, estimated time of completion. Like it's very like I'm doing hand motions, but you can't even see. It's very, you know, factual data, blah blah blah. And then when the dates of the log sort of change to the next year, it notes that like the handwriting isn't quite as neat or whatever, and there starts to become some more personality with what's written in here. So like instead, it will say that first part like, oh, mission complete, and then like some of the tasks like did free time, reading books left behind by others, but then it'll add like a little like personal note, like I think books are fun. And then like the next day it was like reconnected light circuitry, light stays on, feeling safe, like things like that. So it's clear at this point that Pascal sort of developed some type of sentience over that time. which was really interesting to actually like see in this way, like through the logs. And then like, yeah, some of them were really sad, like puppy waiting dead master home, a little sad, and things like that. But yeah, it starts to get more sad because Pascal starts to log about how other robots start to attack him and calling him Fragmentum, and he just doesn't understand. He's like, why are they fighting me? And he just, as the logs go on, it starts to be more like introspective and kind of sad. Like I was like gonna tear up. I was like, and then as it goes on, it gets like things get cut out and you don't even know what he's saying, but and you can see how he sort of breaks down to how he was when we found him, where he can barely speak. So that was like crazy and really interesting. So after we, find out all that's happened, we go back to Svarog to try to figure out what we're gonna do next. And this is kind of like the big part of the mission, where Svarog and Clara kind of have opposing views, and not really opposing, but they have different views on what they should do with Pascal. Svarog, with his very logical view, talks about how it would be a lot easier to just put him into Svarog's like data system where all the different robots are in and whatever, so that he won't break out into chaos like he was before, and like everything will be fine, like there will be no chances of anything bad happening, like it'll all be solved. But the downside of that is that Pascal has clearly now become sentient, and if he joins up like that, he will lose his sentience, and it's not very likely that he'll get it back, because they even said in there that I think the chances of him gaining sentience when he was out and about, like as he did originally, was like 3% or something, but like the chances if he's in like the robot settlements like system would be like even lower, like 1%, something like that. So it's hard because you're like, well, now he has feelings, he's a robot, but he's also like a person kind of, so you don't really know what to do. And then Clara's perspective is that she's like, I can keep working on him, and I'll keep like trying to fix him until he has everything worked out, and like even if he gets broken down again, I'll fix him again, and things like that. And Svarog kind of explains to her like, well, even if you do fix him up, he could break down again, and someday you might not even be able to like fully like put him like back to normal. And that was really tough. And eventually they want us to make a decision about whose side you're going to choose. If you're going to choose Clara's opinion or Svarog. They kind of like put you on the spot. They're kind of like, well, we trust you, so you decide. And I was like, really, guys, why are you doing this to me? But yeah, I really struggled with making this decision. Like it probably took me like almost between 5 and 10 minutes to make the decision, because like honestly, logically, I really sided with Svarog. I thought like there's no risk of this, it's just gonna be done and solved. He won't have to, Pascal won't have to be in pain anymore and like get mistaken for this or that, and like it'll just be fine. But obviously the downside is that he loses something that's really special and unique about him, because most of the robots here don't have sentience like he does, and like I don't know, that's very important. So I really was trying to consider that in my decision, but at the same time, I was feeling so much, like I was like empathizing so much with Clara, because I don't know, like I mean, obviously, we know she's so smart. She could do it if she put her mind to it, and we know how passionate she is about this. And that's what eventually led me to side with her. Because I just thought, like, even if Svarog's thing works, and even if there is a chance that Pascal could, you know, regain sentience again one day, like, it doesn't guarantee it. And I do feel bad because that special aspect of him, it means so much to Clara. You know, to her, you know, a robot like that is someone who is similar to Svarog for her. And, you know, to her, Mr. Svarog is like, you know, a family figure. You know, that Svarog is her family. And I think if, you know, obviously her and Pascal aren't that close yet, but if someone said, like, oh, well, to protect Svarog, you can either keep working on him like this for the rest of your life, or you can just put him into the system, but he won't be able to, you know, communicate with you and, like, all this like he was before. I think Clara would choose to work on him forever. And, you know, as much more risky as her plan sounded, I definitely sided with her because of her, like, emotional feelings about it. So that ended up being the choice we made. And yeah, basically we go back to we go back to, sorry, I lost my train of thought. We go back to the robot workshop where Pascal is, and we put in the thing to make it, you know, to protect the system that he has and not ruin it. So we chose Clara's thing, and that's where it ends. Clara says she'll, you know, let us know any updates, and like maybe we can talk about it again later. And that's what I'm assuming is going to happen in that short adventure mission. And then also Clara got to come to the Astral Express. Wow, I could not say that for a second. But Clara came to the Astral Express, which was really cute because, I don't know, you could tell she was really excited about, like, how it looked, and then she left a sweet little message, like they all do, but I love when they leave the sweet little message. But yeah, that was my thoughts on or my experience of going through the Rarely Affectionate Part 1 and Part 2 mission. I really enjoyed this companion mission. I definitely feel like it felt really true to Clara as a character, and I also feel like it helped us get to know her even a little bit better. And it was also really interesting seeing how a robot like that could gain sentience over that time because of all that happened. And, like, yeah, it was really sad. He all he wanted to do was just work really hard to make Rivet Town, you know, safe again, so that when humans could come back, they could come back right away. And it was really heartbreaking. So I'm very curious to see, based on the decision that I made, what ends up being the outcome. After we play through that, I might even see I might even, like, look up what the outcome is if you did it the other way, just out of curiosity. But yeah, so with that, we'll go into the live gameplay of us going through this follow-up adventure mission. Okay, so now I believe to start that next part for the adventure mission, we have a message from Clara. I think that's what will trigger how it starts. So, Clara says, "It's been a while since the incident with Pascal. Big sister, do you want to visit Pascal?" And I'll say, sure, I'll be there right away. It's taken me long enough to get to this point. Anyway, big sister, if you're coming to see us, remember to be at Rivet Town's tempering workshop. Okay. So that's where we'll have to go. Wonderful. Rivet Town. Wait, so workshop is, like, over here, right? Is that what they're saying? Do I just go there and it'll start? Will it trigger when I show up? Ooh. Yes. Ooh.
Good boy, Pascal.
Oh my god, is it even voiced? I didn't think it'd be voiced.
Oh, it's you. I'm just doing a checkup on Pascal.
Oh, good. How's Pascal been recently?
He's been doing great. Mr. Svarog's programs are extremely effective. It's just hard to know if it'll last.
Yeah,
Would you like to speak with Pascal?
absolutely. How are you doing? What have you been up to recently?
Pascal, carry out Clara mission.
Oh, how good, Pascal.
Protect Rivet Town. Waiting, everybody. Come back, live together.
I really hope they can all come back soon for you, Pascal.
You're in good health, Pascal.
Why does he just make me cry?
Today's checkup is over. Shall we head back now?
Please, wait. Flower, flower, flower for you. Don't forget.
Pascal, did you get Clara a flower?
Huh?
Pascal, make myself. Scraps, parts, materials.
Oh my
Not
goodness.
stolen. Very clean.
Precious little Pascal.
You. Good. Pascal, happy.
Oh, see, okay, this makes me feel so good about choosing Clara's option. Because can you imagine the heartbreak of having to, like, take away these thoughts from this sweet little Pascal?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Clara. Big sister.
This makes me, like, way more curious about what happens if you choose the other option.
Thank you, Pascal. Big sister, would you like a flower?
Absolutely. Wow. A cold metallic construct, but a burning passion perhaps hides beneath the petals. It is cold to the touch, but warm if you put it against your body. Where on your body? Try your heart. Oh, wow. I think I might hate Hoyo verse. No, I don't. I'm curious. Now I'm really curious. If you do the other option, I wonder if you still get an item like this. Okay, so that's the whole mission. That's the whole adventure mission. It's just a little quick thing where we get to say hi to everyone, and that's nice. It's like such a relief knowing that he's okay. Can I not get in here? Okay. It's such a relief knowing that he's okay, and like obviously this might not last forever, but it's nice to know that for now we can trust that he'll stay as he is. He's in good hands with Clara, and you know this makes Clara happy too. So I think this is the best outcome I could have hoped for. Well, with that, now that it's finally complete, I think now would be a good time to end this short little video. I'm sorry it took so long to get out. You know, despite the video being so short, I've already edited the previous portion of the video, and it took me so long to edit. I don't know why. Like, I think I'm not really used to editing videos that way, like putting like clips on top of like voice recording. So I honestly wasn't really sure how to do that in my editing program. I might sound like a complete editing noob, which I am by saying that, but you know, we figured it out eventually, and you know, next time I'm just gonna not run into this problem again. Yeah, so next I'm thinking of, I said this in my original recording that wasn't recorded, but I was thinking for the next time we play, I want to try this adventure mission, the Everwinter City Museum Ledger of Curiosities. Well, that's a long name. But I want to start that, I think. I don't know how long it takes to do this adventure mission. Obviously it says like 1, so there's probably more than one part, maybe 2 or 3 parts perhaps. So we'll just go through that and see how long it takes us. If we have any more time, maybe we'll do one of the other things we have on our list. As a reminder, the other things I want us to do before we move on with the Trailblaze mission are, I want us to do this, the continuance mission, and then what was it? It was this one. I think that's, oh, sorry. And also, I forgot about it. But this one, which is Sela and Luca's companion mission, which I really want to do because I have not even met him yet. So yeah, those are the things on our list. And then I also want to do Equilibrium Part 3, but I'm probably gonna do that off camera because I'd rather just do it off camera. I'll be honest. I'm sure you've all seen it a million times, and I'm sure it won't be too hard either. So yeah, that is the plan, and that's where I think I will leave this video. Sorry it took so long to get out, but you know, at least I was able to give you something. At first I was worried that it was all over. But yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. Please have a great rest of your day wherever you are in the world. I'll see you later. Goodbye.